dolls, welcome back again to A Feminine Touch. If you are tuning in for the first time, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. But if you're not, welcome back, my doll. So, on today's episode, we are going to dive into how to use your femininity and your feminine energy whilst dating. Here, we're going to explore how embracing your inner femininity can help elevate your confidence, set healthy boundaries, and attract the right kind of love you need into your life. So, stay tuned. So, dolls, the first thing we have to look out for when you're dating is you have to know what you want. But it's really essential that you know exactly what you want and you write that down. I feel like once I actually realized that, I actually want something, and I'm not just like dating anyone just because, like, I actually have a type or specific things that I'm looking for in a person, and whatever that is to you, like, just write it down. If like I need him to be a really kind person, I want him to have a lot of money, I want him to like listen to the same songs as I do. I want him to like going to the theaters, or I want him to enjoy movies. Whatever that looks like for you, write it down and be very, very specific. This just eliminates the people we don't want, because by the time we know exactly what we want, when we see what we don't want, it's a no-brainer. It's like, okay, this is not what I want, I'm out. You don't have to like settle for less and be in a relationship with someone who you don't even like, who you don't even want. So once you're really ready, and this can take time, I feel like don't rush yourself, take time, see what you want. And also, you can change the list anytime, you can upgrade the list anytime. I can't tell you how many times I've upgraded my list. Like, I'm like, oh, I want someone who is like working here, and then I'm like, oh wait, no, I think I want someone who's working here. So you can change your list every single time, but ensure that you just know exactly what you want, because like I said, this really just eliminates the people who should not even be in your field, talk less of you dating them. So first step, know what you want, sit down, think about it, and write a list. So dolls, the second thing you have to do is only accept men who align with your list. And this is something that at first I actually kind of struggled with, because I'll probably have something like, oh, he has to be 30 plus over, if I want him to date me. And then maybe someone who's like 25 or 27 comes over, and I'm like, well, this is not what I want, this is not the age I want. Like, I don't think I want someone who's like really young in his 20s. I'm looking for someone in their 30s. So when those kind of people came, I might like go on a date and like entertain them, but at the back of my mind, I'm like, but this is not really what I'm looking for, this is not what I want. And then of course at the end of the day, that never worked out. It was just like a disaster. At the end of the day, I should just have stuck on my list than entertaining this man who doesn't meet my list. So ensure you're cutthroat about this. And I also love to see this as a CV type of thing. Like, if you're looking for a job, if you're looking for a job and the job has its criterias, like things you're looking for, skills and expertise you're looking for, and if your CV doesn't match that, you're not even going to enter the interview. You're not even going to be accepted to have an interview with them. That's how cutthroat like these job people are. So you have to look at your dating like that. It's like, I have my skills, I know what I'm looking for. If you bring your CV to me and it doesn't match my requirements, you're not even going on a date with me. I'm not giving you my number. You're not hearing from me again. It's a no for me, and that's it. And you have to stand, and this is you setting boundaries. This is you saying, I know what I want and I'm going for what I want, and I'm not settling for less. So that is you also showing the universe that this is what I'm asking for, this is my desire, I am staying with this, I'm standing on business, I'm not accepting anything less. So even when other kind of men who don't match your love list come to you, it's a no. Like, don't even entertain them. Like I said, like before, at first, I will entertain them, and then it will turn into a disaster. And I'm like, why did I even entertain this man when I know he doesn't even match my love list? So it's best if you just stick with what you want and say no to anything that doesn't match. But also, the next way you can show your feminine energy whilst dating is to cultivate that energy and also give yourself princess treatment. I mean, of course, I'm sure in our list we have I want him to worship the ground I walk on. He has to give me princess treatment, open doors, flowers weekly, whatever that is for you. You have to start acting like that person who receives princess treatment. You have to cultivate your princess treatment. You have to do things like that for yourself. And I do have a video on why women do not receive princess treatment, and I'll just touch slightly on that. But if you're interested, you can watch that. But mostly it's because most women just don't exude that princess treatment energy. They don't look like they care for themselves. They look like they settle for less. They look like they just accept anything in their field. And if a man comes and approaches that kind of woman, he can already sense it. Men are really, really smart people. They know if a woman is the kind of woman who men worship or who men do a lot of things for. They know because it's how you carry yourself. It's in the energy, it's in our energy. So that's why you have to really cultivate that energy. If you're not by now, stop buying yourself flowers weekly if that's what you want. Take yourself out on really nice dates. Spend money on yourself, really treat yourself like a princess. Carry yourself with pride and grace. Me saying this is making me tap into that energy, like tap into the energy of the woman who has everyone obsessed with her and doing anything for her. There's a way she walks, there's a way she talks, there's a way she carries herself, there's a way, there are places she goes. There's just an aura. When you say someone has a very magnetic aura, that's it. That's why. And I don't know if you've met women or girls who you're like, oh no, this girl will never settle for just any man. It's like you either have to be top notch or nothing. And how do you know? You just know because she looks top notch or nothing. She looks very good. She looks like she takes care of herself. She looks like she carries herself really well. She carries herself with grace and pride. And, there's a way you just be. I love that word because when it comes to femininity, it's more about being embodied. So when you're really embodied in that energy, there's no way the man or whoever is coming to meet you will not come first with a princess treatment. Like, I've literally had men give me gifts on the first dates, like, even without actually talking to me. They're just like, they bring the gifts, and I'm like, oh, why? Why did you decide? Like, I never told you to give me anything. It's just like, I remember a guy saying, oh, I know, I just feel like you're the kind of girl that I should be gifting. Like, I have to open your door for you. I need to pull out your chair for you. That's literally what he said. He was like, you carry yourself in a way that commands respect from others. And I feel that just really stuck with me. I was like, wow, that's interesting. I was like, it's true. You have to carry yourself like that. You have to embody and cultivate that energy because, like I said, you can watch the video I have, but if you don't treat yourself, you don't look like you're kept, you don't look like you care for yourself, why would someone else want to care for you? It's like, oh, you just put your hair in a bun, you look like you just rolled out of bed, you're tired, you're just like not even talking, your head is down, you have your clothes are rumpled, you just look like really unkept. How do you expect someone to care for you when you don't look like you care for yourself? And as humans, let's be honest, we all want humans to be unconditional, but most times we are. We are very conditional. So there's no one is gonna say, oh, she looks like she doesn't take care of herself. Let me be the one to take care of her. Most times, I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but most times, most people won't care. Like, oh, she doesn't care for herself. Why should I care? But it's like, oh, she cares for herself and I like her. So of course I have to come with caring for her. let me see what I can buy, let me see what I can do, let me move mountains. That's why you see men doing the absolute most, and it's like, oh, okay. So it's really important to cultivate your feminine energy, and this channel is based on that, so you can watch so many videos and cultivate that energy and be embodied, so you can attract the right kind of love and the right kind of man in your life. Another thing to also take into consideration whilst you're dating as a feminine woman is you have to believe that you're worthy. And I feel like this also piggybacks off on giving yourself the princess treatment. Like, you literally have to believe that you're worthy and deserving of the kind of love that you want, and you never settle for less. At the back of your mind, you're like, oh, I really want a man who buys me gifts and buys me flowers weekly and opens the doors and is really kind and has money. But oh, I don't think, but another side of you is like, oh, but I don't think I'm worthy. I mean, look at me, I'm not worthy of that kind of man, but I want it. It's really double. It's like sending a double binding message to the universe. So on one hand, you're like, universe, I want this kind of love. I have my list down here. It's here. Look at this is the kind of man I want. But, at the same time, you're also like, oh, well, there are no good men out there. I'm not deserving. I don't think any man, like, look at this generation right now. Men are not like that anymore. Chivalry's dead, blah, blah, blah. Like, you start sending the universe double binding messages. So the universe is like, I see your list. I want to give you that man you want, but you don't believe. And believe, like I said, is the number one thing when it comes to manifesting. I do have a video on overcoming limiting beliefs. You can watch that if you have limiting beliefs about anything. But beliefs is really, really important. You have to start telling yourself that those kind of men are out there. I am worthy. I am deserving. I am the kind of woman who men do these things for. My case is different. Yeah, I might see other men acting like a fool, but my case is different. I only attract men who are kind, who are nice, who open doors, who send gifts. You really have to start telling yourself that, because if you are not believing in your list that you wrote, it's never gonna come. It's just you writing. The universe is not gonna do anything about it. But if you believe that this list I'm writing is what I want and I will manifest it, it's generally gonna come. So you need to believe that you're deserving and you are worthy. And if you need to do anything to make you deserving, and you can do this by affirming. If you don't believe, you can start affirming and doing other things. Like I said, there is a video on that, so ensure you check it out. But belief is very imperative when it comes to having the kind of love you want in your life. So, my dolls, that's all I have for this episode. Please let me know if you liked this by actually liking it, and do not forget to subscribe and share this video. And also, my dolls, do not forget to have a feminine touch in everything you do. Mwah!